Hi everyone, I'm Mark Leeming from the 1 Minute Preacher. If you have a coffee in hand, a toast to having a great Thursday. Now for my regular viewers, you will notice right away that I'm at a different filming location. I'm here at beautiful Sauble Beach, located on the Bruce Peninsula, Ontario, Canada. And my wife and I are celebrating several weeks ahead of time our 25th wedding anniversary. So I suppose another toast is in order to my wife for putting up with me these past 25 years. Now, during my last year of high school and for several years afterwards, it was a very scary time for me because as a young person, I supposedly was to know what my future was, and I had to be willing to go into thousands of dollars into debt getting a college and or a university degree. But an extra burden for me was that I was a Christian young person. And what was God's will for my life? And how was I supposed to know that? And perhaps you're a Christian young person facing a similar situation. So let me offer you two basic ideas of what it means to know God's will for your life and to live it out. Now, the first is what I like to refer to as the blueprint view, that allegedly God has a detailed divine blueprint for your life that you must discover and follow every step of the way. That God has a chosen career path for you and the schooling that would be required to do that. And when it comes to the most important decision that you'll ever make, who you will marry, well, God has one particular person chosen just for you. Now, the unnerving thing about holding that view is that, well, what happens if you mess things up at step 15 or 20, or even worse, step 1, step 3, or step 6? Will that mean that God's plan for your entire life will just come crashing down, just like a house of cards? Well, that was what I feared as a young person, just starting out. What if I took the wrong schooling, chose the wrong career path? Would I totally mess up God's plan for my life? Now, the second is what I like to refer to as the guideline view. That setting aside the fact that God is all-knowing, He stands outside of space and time, He knows how our lives will unfold, but He doesn't have a divine blueprint that we need to discover and follow step by step. Rather, He's presented us guidelines, principles in Scripture that we are to follow as we live out our lives. That it's not that He has a chosen career path for us. Rather, in Scripture, He wants us to follow His ethical principles, that we are to live lives of integrity, that we are to live lives of godliness as we go to work with our co-workers. And when it comes to marriage, it's not that God has one particular person picked out for us. Rather, He's presented us in Scripture guidelines to follow in choosing a mate, namely that that person needs to be a follower of Christ and a dedicated one at that. So if you're a young person right now and you're a Christian young person struggling, what is God's plan for your life? What is God's will for your life? Well, God's will for your life is that you follow Him in whatever career path you choose and whoever you marry. And as St. Francis of Assisi once said, preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words.